Hi there, and welcome to this video. Really quick video to show you how to put together a Power BI one-page dashboard to visualize your data for exit tickets. So as more students are being taught at home at the moment, this can be used as an end of session plenary, but it could also be used once you're back in schools and teaching in a classroom, especially where you've got things like student iPads, or if you're in a classroom with computers or laptops, then you can use this. You can always get students to use their phones as well to fill in the form that leads to the data that comes into this dashboard. Pretty simple to set up, but this is what it essentially gives you. So I've got how much did you feel you learnt in the lesson today. That's the average over all of the tickets that have been put in out of 5. You've got all the students and how they're feeling in terms of how confident they are now after the session. And then this one's quite interesting, I think. So this shows you how confident they were at the beginning of the lessons and how confident they are now at the end of the lesson, and then by topic on the side. I've got some slices here as well. So I've done this based on maths, but you could obviously do this based on any subject with any topics. So I can decide to look at, well, actually, how effective or how confident do they feel with something like data handling. So I click on data handling as the topic, and there you can see the inputs that I have for data handling. So that's by topic. I could look at an individual student, I could look over a date range, or I could look at a class that I might have. So I might look at my year 10 class, filter on that, and that tells me how they're feeling. But it's kind of this whole, how did they feel at the beginning, how did they feel at the end, that gives you an indication of how well they may have picked things up within the lesson. Obviously this is a student perception of learning, so this is the end product, what it should look like. So let's have a look at how it feeds into this. It's fairly straightforward. It's based on a Google form. I'm imagining most people have come across Google Forms. If you've got Google Drive, you'll have this as a free part of that program anyway. Lots and lots of stuff on YouTube to show you how to set these up. But basically, giving it a title, and then I've just put some information in. Name, there's the class. Date, there's the topic that it feeds through from. How confident are you at the beginning? How confident are you at the end? And then how confident are you now, or how much learning happened, during the lesson today. So I can move that one to be below. I think I'll put it below this one. I'll need to move the other one up. How confident are you now needs to go there. So as you can see, you can move things around in Google Forms. It's quite simple and straightforward. These are just linear questions that I've put, nothing is 1. I've learnt nothing in the lesson. I've learnt loads. Filters here. Students then basically get a link, or you give them a link to the form, either through email, or you can give them QR codes. Just link it to your work you're giving them set online at the moment anyway. So they put in their name, they say which class they're in, they give you the date that they're filling the form in. I'm just going to go back a day. What topic was it? How confident were you at the beginning? Well, I wasn't that confident. How confident are you now at the end? A bit more confident. And I think I've learned quite a lot today. And then I submit that, and that's it. So you can see there it took 30 seconds to submit that. You'd obviously get that with all of your class would be submitting it. So 25, 30 students, however many in your class, will submit that, and it will feed into your form. And in your form, you just need to go to responses and make sure in the settings you've got it set up to select a response destination, and you need to make sure it's selected to create a new sheet. So I'm just going to cancel that because I've already got that created. So I've got a new sheet that it goes to. Here's the Google Sheet, and you can see there's that one I've literally just put into the form, fills in, comes into the bottom, and it will load up for me. There it is, and that's the basic driver of what's happening on that Power BI dashboard. You do need to do a couple of things before you can get it to filter straight into the Power BI dashboard. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to share, and you need to make sure that anyone with the link can view this particular sheet. and you will need to publish to the web. Now, unless you've got the link, you're not really going to stumble across it, but you don't want to be putting sensitive information onto the web via your sheets. So when you come to the file, you then go to publish to the web. So obviously here we've only got first names and initials, doesn't mean anything. There's no real data being given out, and then you need to copy that link. Once you've copied that link, when you come to your Power BI, you'll go to file on your new one, and then you've got get data, and we want to go to the web. And once you're into the web, you will then be able to paste in that particular link, which will link up your Google Sheets with the Power BI dashboard. So here you just took, right, paste in, control paste. I didn't copy it, sorry, but you paste in the link there, and then it will filter through to give you your data set. So here's my data set that's come through. You can see there all the bits of information that are coming through, when it was, the forms, the areas, etc. So that gives you your data. Then I'll just show you very quickly what we can do with that. So on the left hand side, I've just got some filters, some slicers. So I'm just going to close that down. Here's the slicer. So I'm going to add in a slicer, and from my fields I want to add the slicer from that table there, and I want to add a slicer on what topic. So I'm just going to click on topic. It now gives me the slicer that I might need. You can change it to a drop down if you want to. That's done up here by just clicking on drop down. I might then add another slicer, and this time I might want it to be on the date. So I'm going to click on date, and it will set me a bar that I can use for the date. And I'm going to select another slicer, and I might want that on the student's name. So now when I look for information, I can filter it by particular timeframes, particular topics, or particular students. You can insert shapes and other bits and pieces. So I'm going to go and insert a line so that I can show the separation between the filters and the data. I just think it looks a bit neater and nicer. Then you can start adding in your filters. So I've just gone with charts. You can manipulate that so it goes to wherever you want it to go. And within this one, I'm going to do, the axis is going to be topic. So that's going to split up all of my bits of information. And I want to know, how much do you feel you've learned in today's lesson as my values. So literally drag it on. At the moment, it's counting them all up. So area is the one that's been done the most. So it's giving you a count and adding them all up. So that's why it's quite high. I need to do an average. So I'm going to give myself an average of all of these bits of data. And you can see there it changed. And now it's an average less than 5. Now I know I'm on my scale goes up to 5, so it's 0 to 5, so I can go onto the format. I can go to the y-axis because it's on the y-axis. And if I go to the drop down, and there's the start, so I'm going to put my start as 0 and my end is 5, and now you can see I've got a maximum line of 5 that can be shown. So you build it out really by using graphs like that. I kind of encourage you really to experiment with these and move things in and out to show what you want to. Trial and error is quite a good way of doing it, but basically you just drag in from the table into the graph, and then you can manipulate it around, and you can end up with something that looks a bit like the initial exit ticket dashboard that I showed you. And then all you do is, once you've got students to add the exit ticket, it will show on the spreadsheet. I can then just come to the Home tab and I can refresh, and it will then go through a process of refreshing the data, and you should see I've obviously filtered on class here, but we'll just see what happens. I don't think there'll be any change on that class. So yeah, no real change on that class, but I can then click on the class, click off of all, and you can see it's come back to all of my bits of information. So again, if we just go to the ticket, and if we fill in, just so we can see how it might change it, let's do me again, 10x, and we're going to put it as Thursday, percentages, 2, 3, learn a lot, and submit. So you can see here it's come into the spreadsheet. So we know it's in the spreadsheet. We can now see if we can put it into the Power BI dashboard. So I've just clicked on refresh. You can see it's going through that refresh process. And we should find that the data should change slightly. Obviously, once you've set this up once, you don't have to do anything with it other than click on refresh. That's it. And then you get a whole dashboard of all of your exit tickets, allowing you to show some comparative data over time. You can look at data based on classes. You can see which topics maybe students aren't feeling as comfortable on, so you can use that to inform your planning for the next set of lessons you're delivering. Or you might feed that into department discussions, those kind of things. So although it might take, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes to set up in the initial phases for the dashboard, it's there to be used for as long as you want to use it, because you could use it next year and you just change the date range to be for the academic year you're in. So it's kind of a good investment of time for you to have this information coming through to help you with planning. So we can see there it just changed, only ever so slightly, but we went from 2.90 to 2.95. So there's a bit of a change. So that's how you'd update it. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you can subscribe to the channel and like it if you've got this far with it, and keep an eye out for other videos. There should be some above here that you can have a look at in terms of EdTech and how to use it for teaching and learning, and how to save teachers time and make them more efficient. Thanks for watching.